What is up, everyone? This is FNH here with a brand new video to talk about how to upload your podcast to iTunes. So if you haven't watched my previous video already, in which I teach you how to essentially upload your podcast to a podcast hosting site, be sure to watch that first. If you already know how to do that, let's continue on to this episode. So if you've already uploaded your episode, your first ever episode of your podcast to a podcast hosting site or your own internal hosting site, now we will go to the next phase on what you need to do to publish it to iTunes. First, I would like you to go to your settings or wherever your RSS feed is. For my purposes, I use Podbean. I have it in the settings in feed/iTunes portion under settings. Once you have your RSS feed, we're going to continue over to podcastconnect.apple.com. This has been moved from itunesconnect.apple.com to this website now. I believe it used to be part of that, but they made it separate. Once you're in this specific place, you can already see my podcast. If you'd like to watch, it's in the description below, or listen to, I should say. It's already live. This took a little over 24 hours. iTunes can be anywhere from 24 hours to 2 weeks. They take the longest to approve out of the three big players, Spotify and Google. But understandably, iTunes is the largest one, and they take about a little longer than that. A lot of factors can come into play if it's explicit, if it's like controversial, and a lot of things can come into play. But mine was a simple personal finance type podcast. It was approved fairly quickly. But anyways, for your sake, if you whatever your podcast is, and once you're in this page, you will have nothing here. What you need to do is click the plus button, literally drop in your RSS feed that we just saw, and then it tells you what it is, how it works, the artwork. It tells you what needs to be there and whatnot. And then that's it. You press submit. You can validate it to ensure it's working. Like you see mine is over here. You can validate it and then you can submit it. Just to show you, I don't know if it's going to validate because I already have a podcast uploaded. But let's just say I validate it. Yeah, see, because I already have it submitted. Failed validation. But once you have it submitted, something similar to this pops up. It shows you the title. It says episodic because it's not serial. It shows my category. It's investing, English, media, explicit is not. I did not curse, just like my channel. And then there's a description. There's a website link which goes to where my podcast is hosted. I can obviously get that changed once I have an episode. And that's it. It just shows you over here and everything here. Once this is done, you'll go back to that feed page that you were initially in where your podcast is. So you can go back to my podcast and you'll get to this screen and it'll just say pending review or in review, something of the sort. And that's all. You literally then just wait. And that's all, guys. That's all I would actually recommend you to say. Just be very truthful in what your podcast is. If it's explicit, please tag explicit because a human does review this and listens to the podcast. And they want to make sure everything is correct and in line with what they have. And especially if something slips by and someone reports it, your podcast could get taken off of these shows or these platforms. Obviously, you wouldn't want that if you put the time, the effort, and you wanted your podcast to get out there. I would recommend you to take the safe route and not get it banned. But yeah, this was it, guys. Overall, I do hope you guys found this video helpful and informative. If you did, please smash that like button. It helps a lot. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and click that notification bell. And if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, let me know in the comment section below. Other than that, FNH out. Peace.